I thought I was running from pressure, from expectations, from responsibility, from the weight that seemed to follow me everywhere. So I stayed busy. I filled my calendar. I filled my mind. I filled the silence with noise, work, scrolling, new goals, new plans, new distractions. If I kept moving, I wouldn't have to feel anything. If I kept running, nothing could catch me. At least, that's what I believed. But here's what I didn't realize. I wasn't running from pressure. I was running from change. And there's a difference. Pressure challenges you. Change transforms you. And transformation is uncomfortable. So I ran. It's easy to mistake motion for progress. You wake up early, you grind, you check boxes, you respond to messages, you start projects. From the outside, it looks like movement, but inside, nothing shifts. You feel the same confusion, the same frustration, the same quiet dissatisfaction, so you do more. You tell yourself, if I just stay productive, I won't feel stuck. But productivity can become the perfect hiding place because staying busy keeps you from asking deeper questions. Questions like, why am I avoiding stillness? Why does silence make me uncomfortable? What am I afraid will surface if I stop moving? Busyness can look responsible, but sometimes it's escape. There was a moment, not dramatic, not loud, just honest. I slowed down. Not by choice, by exhaustion. And in that stillness, something surfaced. I wasn't overwhelmed by pressure. I was avoiding growth because growth requires letting go. Letting go of old patterns, old identities, old excuses. Change asks you to release the version of yourself that feels familiar, even if that version is limiting, and that is terrifying. So instead of facing change, I stayed distracted. Here's what nobody tells you about escape. You don't leave your problems behind. You carry them into new environments, new job, same insecurity, new city, same doubt, new relationship, same fear. You think a different setting will solve an internal pattern, but location doesn't break cycles. Awareness does. And until you confront the pattern, you repeat it. That's the quiet truth. You don't escape your life, you repeat it. Running feels safer than rebuilding. Because rebuilding means admitting something isn't working. It means facing the gap between who you are and who you could be. It means confronting habits that feel comfortable but limit your growth. And comfort can be addictive, even when it keeps you small. So you run toward noise, toward distraction, toward temporary relief. But relief is not resolution, and eventually exhaustion catches up. Constant motion creates the illusion of control, but it drains clarity. When you never pause, you never reflect. When you never reflect, you never adjust. And when you never adjust, you stay in the same cycle. Years can pass like that, busy, active, productive, but unchanged. The hardest realization is this: you can work incredibly hard and still avoid the one thing that would truly shift your life. Honest internal change. Breaking a cycle does not begin with speed. It begins with stillness. Stillness forces awareness. Awareness exposes patterns. Patterns reveal truth, and truth gives you choice. When you slow down long enough to see the repetition, you can decide differently. You can respond instead of react. You can build instead of escape. But it requires courage because awareness removes excuses. Pressure was never the enemy. Expectation was never the enemy. The real enemy was avoidance. Avoidance of discomfort. Avoidance of growth. Avoidance of responsibility for change. It's easier to say, life is overwhelming. Harder to say, I am resisting transformation. But transformation is not punishment. It's expansion. And expansion stretches you beyond what feels safe. Imagine running through a city at night, lights flashing, noise everywhere, footsteps echoing. You think something is chasing you. But when you stop and turn around, there's nothing there. The chase was internal. The threat was growth. The fear was becoming someone new. And when you finally stop running, the city becomes quiet. The noise fades. And you realize you were never being hunted. You were being called forward. Change requires honesty. Honesty about patterns. Honesty about habits. Honesty about the comfort zones you protect. It requires admitting that distraction has delayed your progress, not destroyed it, delayed it. And delay can be reversed, but only when you stop escaping. Responsibility is empowering. Not because it blames you, but because it gives you control. If repetition comes from patterns, and patterns come from choices, then new choices create new outcomes. You don't need a new environment. You need new responses. You don't need to run faster. You need to turn around, face the discomfort, and grow through it. Building a new life does not require dramatic change overnight. It requires small shifts repeated consistently, staying present when you want to distract yourself, sitting with discomfort instead of escaping it, choosing reflection over reaction. Each small decision interrupts repetition, and slowly, the cycle weakens. Imagine a future version of you, calm, grounded, clear. That version didn't run. That version faced what felt uncomfortable. That version stopped escaping and started building. And here's the truth. That version is not separate from you. It's waiting on your decision. Today, you can decide something simple. I will not escape discomfort anymore. I will not confuse motion with growth. I will not repeat cycles I have the power to break. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's powerful. Because change begins with ownership. You don't escape your life, you repeat it. Unless you interrupt the pattern, unless you choose awareness, unless you stop running. Tonight, slow down. Reflect. Ask yourself honestly, where am I repeating instead of rebuilding? And tomorrow, listen again. Because repetition built the old cycle. Repetition will build the new one. The difference is direction. Stop running. Start transforming. Your next chapter doesn't require escape. It requires courage, and you already have it. Before you click away, pause. Be honest with yourself. Are you building a new life or just running in circles? Most people stay busy. Very few choose awareness. If this message felt personal, comment, "I'm done running." Not for me, for you. And tomorrow, listen again. Because repetition built the old cycle. Repetition will build the new one. Subscribe if you're serious about transformation, not distraction. Your life doesn't need escape. It needs direction.